Yeah, I could work.
And the link, eh? All right, that's right. We live. All right. So, oh no, hold on,
So I can show off.
Surprise us.
So I can show off.
hold on now.
So I can show off, right? That's
Dog just dropped that
it's in
boy.
the same run. I ain't playing old music, old soundtrack.
All right, all right. See that done get us in the boy. Let's go. All right, we back. We back. Tuesday night. We here now to break down our NFL Sunday picks,
This may sound
and
like
we
you got a
got
late night show, man.
and we got some NBA to get to. We got some storylines we got to hit tonight. The trade deadline for the NFL was this week. Um, we had some moves, some shakes, some bakes. But yeah, let's get into it. How y'all feel about y'all Sunday picks? Hey, that's supposed to be the intro, like
We have an old mistake about that.
yeah, dog, got it, the whole thing.
We got an
But
old
So
mistake
yeah,
about
how
that.
y'all feel about
Uh,
Sunday? Y'all Sunday picks?
week 8 was a weird week. Like
No man, you say
not,
Sunday this
eh,
was an easy week.
not even just for the picks, but this week was the epitome of a to say in any given Sunday, because the things that happened this week.
it's a strange week, but I know what to call it. But it wasn't. I mean, I don't think no one was expecting what happened for the most part. Like for the most part, I didn't know what expecting what happened. But Brian, this is just a strange week. But that's life in the NFL, though. That's how it be sometimes.
I guess. I mean, like I say, I saw it coming in the way, but we'll see. We'll see. Let's get picks. Let's get picks. Uh, Give us a run now. How we looking?
All right, so the first game we got Titans versus Colts.
How the
Uh,
picks did look?
At the
Me and
Colts,
you picked Titans. Sans picked Colts,
yeah.
and that was a close game. Like on an overtime, I think.
It's a close game.
First,
It
first
was a
of all,
close
that
game.
was only a close game because Derrick Henry got injured.
Maybe so,
Uh,
maybe so. But you were supposed to predict that, and you predict
Listen,
injuries and
you
stuff.
predict injury. So no, no, no.
no, no, no.
Let's not
First,
listen.
I ain't predict Derrick
Injury.
Henry, and that's my fantasy number one. Why would I predict that on him? I know one thing. When I
You
saw
was
they was
you,
waking out Adrian
you was what?
Peterson, I pick him up in a second.
Well, I grabbed him so fast.
Yeah, they can hear that. They can
I
hear that
grabbed
now.
that dude so fast. They say you staying in
They
shape.
definitely,
Yeah, but
Uh,
yeah, they definitely can
yeah, and
that was
I watched a show where they say, usually for these last few years when Adrian Peterson was getting picked up on these teams, he wasn't really fantasy relevant because he's the type of person that need a lot of volume to be fantasy relevant. But this team, in terms of the run game, they pretty much focus a lot on the run game. So this team, he could actually be of fantasy value for real this time.
well, definitely, especially with our offensive line, and plus
Right.
Julio them performing like how they performing. And I wouldn't give him. I wouldn't be surprised if he does touch the ball 20, 25 times a game, which would be good for him. Getting his legs back on them. At least if he could make a name for himself, well, not make a name for himself because we all know who this man is. But I talking about like make that comeback name for himself. He might even get a contract next year because we know Henry coming back for the playoffs
Yeah, yeah. So he ain't saying that.
if they make it.
I
But
mean,
But
if
yeah,
yeah,
they make it now.
this was a close game, 34-31. But the Panthers, I mean the Titans pulled it out in the end, so we up one already. Um, It was looking good for the Colts at the beginning, though. Colts going up 14 zip. Had everybody
14-0.
scared, but then you know how that goes. The
Yeah, but
Titans
even
put
so,
it.
they still had Wentz still had an opportunity to win the game. Well, not win the game, but that interception he threw um,
Yeah, fix it.
when he was in his own end zone. I mean, I don't understand. Well, anyway, they say some people say it still helped them in a way because they got the ball back. But uh, even during the game, down the stretch, the Colts were still very much capable of winning this game. I didn't expect
Yeah,
that.
definitely,
They
definitely.
was in the game, and like we've been saying, they've been playing the last few weeks. They've been playing good football the last few weeks. So that's why I really picked them because I expect them this one. But little mistakes at the end, that cost them, and they lose the Titans are a better team than them. So that's what it is.
All right. So next game we got Rams versus Texans.
Oh, that
This
was an
game
easy
went,
one.
yeah,
This
this
was an
ran how
easy
we
one.
all thought it was gonna go.
Yeah,
Um,
triple block, man.
it was a blow.
They
Yeah,
ain't so
ain't much to
nothing.
say there.
They ain't
And
much
they
to say
actually
there.
had
I
them
mean,
38-0. They only scored them 22 in the fourth quarter when all the starters was out and garbage time was playing.
yeah. I
So
mean, but on that note, like you say, trade deadline going, Panthers decided not to shoot for Deshaun Watson, and the Dolphins decided not to shoot for Deshaun Watson, and that was surprising for me. The Dolphins, at least, I thought he was
how?
going to be going during the season. The Dolphins not shooting for him, not trading
Yeah,
for him.
The Dolphins ain't gonna do that not because they ain't the Dolphins. The Dolphins ain't gonna do that because they have a Patriot head coach. If that was a regular Dolphin head coach, they'd have probably traded for him from week two. But your boy there, he ain't gonna make that. He ain't gonna make that type of move, knowing that yeah, you don't have that long rope to be making faulty moves like that.
Yeah, but that game was
Yeah, and the
basically.
Texans definitely want a difference maker. They ain't just giving.
Yeah, but I mean, do they though? You see, but I mean, I don't know if this report was true, but the Panthers is willing to give up McCaffrey and Cole. Like
You crazy?
that's
Doubt
that's
that.
what I read.
There's no way they're
Doubt
giving up
that.
McCaffrey.
I
Why would you even give up McCaffrey for a
yeah.
guy who probably ain't gonna play?
Right, but I think they kind of getting frustrated with McCaffrey's injury history though. Like I mean, since I've been playing fantasy, do play one full season.
Yeah, that's why I don't pick him. But
Yeah, well, I'd never pick him first.
yeah, I wouldn't make that trade, and I don't see that making sense for the Panthers because then you can bring
But
Deshaun Watson into another toxic situation without
Right.
a help in the backfield. That wouldn't make sense.
I agree.
even with McCaffrey and you can't trade him from pennies on the dollar. It's not what he is when he's healthy. When he's healthy, he's still an elite right back. So yeah, I don't see that happening
Is he coming
at
back this
all.
year? Is he set to come back
Yeah,
this year? McCaffrey.
he coming back mid-season. He should be back soon, actually, another few weeks.
Okay.
Remember, he was supposed to come back a couple of weeks ago, and then he had a setback, so they put him back on IR for another 3 weeks. So he should be about 2 weeks away or a week away. Speaking of trades, also another trade happened on the Rams front, and these guys gone out and get Von Miller, and
Yeah.
I don't understand what they're trying to prove, but they sure are proving it because um, that defense is sick. Like now you get Von Miller coming at you one side, you got Aaron Donald coming at you on the next side, and then you can't even if they blitz, you can't even let the ball go early because you got Jalen Ramsey there covering in coverage on your best receiver. So it's like I don't know what they're trying to prove, but like I said, the Rams going for it this year.
Yeah, that's
Obviously,
that's
they
that's
going for it.
overkill. That's overkill. I mean, they already look like the best team in the league. That's
Um,
overkill.
Rich get rich.
okay.
I mean, you got that man inside Tampa. You gotta make sure you got all your guns loaded, locked and loaded. So for in the event that you face this man, I don't blame him one bit. Get as much as he could get. Start the debt.
Yeah, we'll
Okay.
see how it go, but I see that Rams team that can gel nice. When I come together. It's 5 teams. I feel like the Super Bowl champion this year will come from the NFC, and it's 5 teams. And right now, The only thing would actually separates them at the top because they're so dynamic at the top and they're so almost evenly matched. The only thing that separates them right now is injuries. Because if you look at certain teams like let's say the Seahawks could have been a big team this year. One little finger injury, garbage. Now you look at teams like um, Kyler Murray. Kyler Murray started limping after the game. We don't know how that could turn out. Dak Prescott started limping after the last game. We don't know how that could turn out. So it's like if
Wait, so
you, it's like
what
the
you're saying
most.
is
It's
the only
almost
thing
like
that will separate them is injury.
yeah, it's almost like the NBA this year. The most healthiest team will win the championship. They're not the most
Yeah, I
talented,
could see
There's
that.
the
some truth
most
to that.
healthiest.
Yeah, I
There's
could
some
see
truth
that.
to that.
And so far, the round's been good in terms of injury. I hope that don't come to bite them in the butt. Hope the injury bug don't hit them. They don't like closer to the playoffs.
Exactly. So that's when
That's
it comes
the
true.
last thing you want.
I don't lose there again. I need Cooper Cup to stay healthy now. But yeah. Who we got next?
Next is 49ers, Bears. I picked 49ers. You and Sans picked Bears.
Yep.
And that's why I don't
One,
never go with Sam. See? Same thing. But
one,
You going
one thing we
out
can say
there?
our prediction came true. Yeah, you did pick Bears. But our prediction came true in terms of Justin Fields showing out. He had a career. I mean, he only had like 3 games, but that game really showed that he could ball. Even though the
yeah,
49ers went out. I mean, they had Jimmy Garoppolo running in for 2 touchdowns. That was not a part of this strange week, but
so like
yeah,
you
just
say, Fields got off the rocky start because he played two of the best teams in the league. With this
yeah,
team, they're still good, but they're not one of the best teams in the league. But at the same time, your defense giving up 33 points. So it don't matter how good you is. It's almost like the Cowboys a year past, or even when it comes to the Chiefs now. You could put up 27 points, but if your defense giving up 37 points, you still don't look good. So he could do his part, and all he could do is his part. But at the end of the day, um, I don't see the Bears going nowhere far because of that defense. And it's sad to say. I think, to be honest, I feel like the Khalil Mack last year in Chicago because you need so many pieces, and he takes up so much salary that yeah, you might have to get rid of him just to recoup some assets to build
but
I
around
hate to
Fields,
see it if it happens.
depending where you go.
The Bears have a promising future, but like you say, they a few years away. Fields he has a promising future in this league, but it could take some time. He had a rough rookie season so far. I'll just say that because it hasn't been easy for him. So
yeah. But that last game was like a silver lining though, showing that we could actually hoop. He just like you say played 2 rough teams his first 2 starts. The next we got Bengals versus Jets, and Mike White crushed all our hopes and dreams.
Right?
I can
Like
put an
I
X
say,
factor. You know,
someone
I,
job
I
and
picked the
game job.
I picked the Bengals, but like I told you all before, like I always tell you, wait. I didn't expect that coming. Like
No, but I
I
know how
expect
happy
them to
I
do
know how happy you could be because like those say in the group, your boy job may be in jeopardy now.
listen.
Like real
Promise you,
talk.
that's the worst possible outcome. They did not want that to happen. Like they would have rather Flacco came in and played an excellent game and led them to a win than for Mike White to do that because that's the dude they had buried as the backup permanently. Like, you couldn't make a
Hmm.
case for him to be a starter at all, and he completely outplayed the future of your franchise. Completely outplayed in 1.5 games. So that's not an outcome that they wanted at all. So
Against a good
yeah,
defense, right? Like
really good defense.
Exactly, because he came with that mentality that he don't have nothing to lose. He did
right.
what Fitzpatrick been doing for years. sitting behind man, and then the second a fella go down, oh, he ain't got nothing to lose. He just come
Oh,
out there and sling it.
y'all didn't give up on the season. All right, let me add them.
Yeah,
We
but
start slow.
people underestimate. If you haven't played sports, people underestimate that. Coming off the bench behind dudes is a very, very relieving feeling. If you already know that them dudes are effing up, your comes that much easier. All you just gotta do is come in and don't ruin it. So don't make it
Right.
worse. That's all you have to do. You don't make it worse, you have a chance to look a lot better than the dude who you superseding. You have an
And
easy
right at
job.
the end of the day, no one can say, but the Jets only won at 6. Mike White dead, like ain't no one can ever say that because he ain't the starter, right?
No one's better.
So
Nope.
blame on you. You just go out, do what you gotta do. You throw 10 interceptions, no one care. We expect you to be bad. But yeah, Mike White, the coach ready Neil must start next game. I don't know what
I have
that
no other
where
choice.
that puts. I don't know where that puts
Of course.
Joe Flacco.
What do
Yeah.
you want with no Flacco? Been garbage long time.
But yeah, okay, so given that, do we think the Jets could possibly sneak another win
Yeah, of course.
season? Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, definitely. Definitely. I mean, it won't be. I don't think it'll be right away because you know, teams have a chance to game plan for Mike White. The Bengals probably didn't game plan for him really at all.
Yeah,
So
but
I don't think it'll
so
be right away.
you assume that Mike White's gonna play more than one more game? Because I mean, Wilson
Yeah.
should be coming back soon. You think Wilson loses the spot already?
Uh, okay, so how is it? How it is? I don't think Wilson has lost the spot. It depends on when he comes back, obviously. But if Mike White can string together maybe 2 out of 3 wins, uh, 3 out of 4 wins, something like that, difficult. Because at the end of the day, you talk about all the politics and everything, but the fans only care about. It'd be very difficult to put
Mm-hmm.
Zach Wilson in front of that crowd if they already know that a better quarterback is playing
Yeah.
beside him. You know what I mean? So let's see how it works out. I root for Mike White because he looked good. I still got Mom and the Moms back, but you got to root for the winners at the end of the day. You know what I mean? Wins come.
Obviously not. But yeah, okay, next.
Next game, Bills Dolphins.
Oh, this was the easy one. At least for
Everyone
me.
picked Bills. Yeah, that was pretty straightforward. I mean, I thought it was gonna be more of a blowout, but the Bills made their way through. Next game, we got Eagles and Lions.
Yeah, ooh, yeah. What y'all pick?
Right. So me and Sans pick Lions. We pick Eagles. And boy, the
You and
Eagles.
San. Endless.
That's tough.
Detroit Lions.
Don't act like
These man that we give y'all no reason
you
to think
forget.
they was gonna win a game.
You forget everything we say is be on camera. You
Everything.
said
He's
I was
contemplating picking the Lions.
he wanted
Listen,
to only because I picked
yeah,
Lions
Yeah.
first. He picked Eagles.
and I had enough sense to say, but I ain't gonna lie. As much as I want to pick them, I look at the rest of their schedule, and based on the rest of their schedule, I say, boy, I think it could be this week. It ain't gonna be this week. I don't think they can go on
Listen,
70 because I see them having easier games than this. They really have, but for a team that owns, they really don't have a hard schedule. I don't know why they losing so much.
no, but you missed the point. You said yourself, we pick a winless team. They winless for a reason,
Yeah, but
right? This
horrible,
is a
man. Y'all,
game
y'all
that's
gotta do
supposed to
better.
be winnable. This is a game that's supposed to be winnable. If anything's supposed to be winnable on a schedule, it's supposed to be the Eagles are a horrible team, but they're not a great team, right? This is supposed to be a winnable game, and a game they didn't even compete. And it's troubling because I guess they really are a horrible team. Even though, like I said, the Lions had competed in a lot of their games that they lost, but not this one.
That's their biggest loss of the season.
Yeah.
It's the Eagles. They got a bye, then
Ooh,
they got the Steelers.
they can
Steelers,
sneak some more, man.
Browns, maybe the Bears.
They can sneak the Steelers.
Yeah, they could remember, but we did say, but if not this game, the next game is the only other game there. But I think they can sneak the Bears too. Definitely,
Yeah,
anybody can sneak the
probably with a
Falcons.
horrible defense.
But I didn't expect that outcome to be like that. Jesus,
Yeah, that was a run
Eagles
up.
was like
Um,
Eagles was like,
Yeah,
I don't watch
not the
this.
Dolphins. Yeah, that
Next
Eagles
game,
playoffs finish. Yeah, definitely. That
next game we got Steelers versus Browns. Everybody pick Browns.
listen,
mm,
I can be real. I'll be frustrated in a situation like this watching it because I play football and I play receiver position, and there's nothing more frustrating than when you outperform everybody all week. Like I don't care what y'all say. Yeah, you could be washed up. Odell is still the best wide receiver on the team right now. Jarvis can't even play, but Odell is the best player on the team, week in and week out. You practicing week in, week out. In practice, dog probably lacing the ball up and putting him on Odell chest all day. And then you come to a game on Sunday morning and you beating your man. You finding yourself open. You running your routes. You doing all this work. And this guy legit just blowing it. Like, bro, I ain't gonna lie, I feel bad for Odell because you brought him there. You brought him there to make him help Baker look better and make this offense spark. But y'all don't even give dog the touches. Like I ain't even saying okay, uh uh he ain't catching them or he just dropped. Like the targets even you giving Odell 5 targets a game. 5 in 4 quarters. That's 1.25 targets a quarter. One in 15 minutes on a whole drive down the field. You look at this man one, maybe 2 times. No, bro. No, everything cool. As far as I was saying, but Odell might have lose
I don't
step.
think
Odell was
I don't think
injury
Odell
prone.
blameless in this situation.
I blaming Baker now.
Okay,
No, but I've
here's
been
the
telling
thing.
you Baker ain't really that good.
Baking in elite quarterback. But here's the thing. Sandra, I give you something on Twitter that said Odell had 1,000 yard season with Baker before. So he ain't like Baker that trash where he can't get Odell the ball. It's the head coach. Well, this head coach, what's his name? Sadaransky, or the
No,
offensive coordinator. They saying
some guy.
every team he go on, the wide receiver one targets is diminished.
Like he overthinking in there. Because at the end of the day,
Well,
he
I mean,
mean, oh, I ain't getting to my wide receiver one because I guess he can always be covered. Like
Right.
big
Remember
man.
we
The
talked.
reason he's a wide receiver one.
Right. Remember we talked about that before. Exactly. You thinking, okay, he double coverage, don't throw it to him. And like you said, he like they great for a reason. They great because even with the double coverage, they still putting up their numbers.
Yeah, real.
I think the same.
I hate crap like that, bro. My thing is, if I's the
but I
hardest
mean,
worker, I's the best player on the team, find me the ball, eh?
but wait for OBJ daddy there for 11 minutes, and they really him missing the boxes.
Wait,
Hey,
we got
that's
OBS, whatever Beckham Senior. He got to order for that. And the reason I say
right.
he got to order Lopez because he just stirring stuff up in the locker room. So
Yeah,
now what you
I
think
don't care.
happened?
Because Odell wants to
I
be
mean,
out
but that's
there.
not already
And
yeah.
nah, that's the code. He wants his son out of Cleveland. He ain't nothing to stay in Cleveland for.
Okay,
I
see
mad they
that
ain't trade him at the deadline.
But see, that's what
Kevin
I say. But
Stefanski. That's his name, Kevin Stefanski. Season prior, and he's on the Vikings. Adam Thielen, targets gone from 7 to 3. And Stephon Diggs targets gone from 6 to 4. And the Odell Beckham targets gone from 4 to 3. So they're saying this guy is saying Stefanski is a real problem and not Baker because he was thrown to Baker a season ago. So
I mean, that
I ain't
might
saying
be
I
a
agree
theory,
or
though.
disagree. I'm just
But
saying that's a take.
that's quite a take, though. But I'll say this, right? with Odell, right? It's funny, right? Because I think I like Odell. I'm an Odell fan, but I think eventually it's the quote from Batman which says, uh, you, you live long enough to see yourself become the villain, right? I think with Odell that might be happening. Like I think eventually these situations with him keep on happening to where people are going to start looking at him as if he's the bad guy. Not to say it's necessarily his fault for why these things are happening, but I think we're starting to see that with him, and I hope that's not the trend for the rest of his career. But I think it was too early. I'm glad to see the Browns did not trade him. I think it's too early to give up on that experiment. I think they just got to see where it goes, and then if anything, get in the long run.
I agree. I think Baker is more replaceable than Odell. Like you said, that team is too good for you to say blow it up. And if a one piece have to go, I say it's Baker. I with you on that.
To be honest, I wouldn't trade Baker if I ain't trading Odell. At the end of the day, if you already realize it's the head coach, then let the head coach go. Sometimes we like to blame the players all the time and put guys in position when, like, I ready. It's not my way. If Odell comes to the game every game prepared and ready to play and does his job of getting open, and I guess Baker probably saying, well, they tell me look away from you because you double covered, so I get into 2 and 3. At the end of the day, the only thing was separating that connection from that QB to that wide receiver is the coach telling them to go to your option 2 and 3. So it's like even if I start going to my option one and then you saying, oh, I running out of the game plan, the coach can still make it hell on the quarterback. Because not to say that every time he goes to Odell, Odell's gonna catch it. The time he does go to Odell and he throw an interception, or the time he does go to Odell and Odell drop it, or the time that he goes to Odell and he overthrows it, now this coach down your neck because he telling you, oh, you shouldn't have been doing that in the first place. Big man, everything cool. That's why guys like offensive juggernauts like Josh McDaniels and stuff, because at the end of the day, they can feed the hot hand. If my guy catch 4 passes in a row, you better stop him from catching 5 in a row. Like, I get him back there. It's like, that's what it's supposed to be. Right there. But yeah, I don't understand that.
One of those things.
I'm trying to see that.
Be on the Jaguars game.
Right. Okay. So
Who picked the Jaguars?
all us picked it.
Yeah.
All us picked the
That's right.
Jags. But I does not see that's how bad. Geno Smith did look in the previous weeks.
That's what it was. That's just what it was. Look, listen. I'll say this. This is one of those games where it's important really not to overthink, right? Let us pick the Jaguars, right? Because Geno Smith did look bad. Listen, the Jaguars was a team that had lost like 19, 20 straight, and only to beat the Dolphins of all teams, and we picked them as favorites to win this matchup. So I give all us deserve some flack for that, because as bad as Geno Smith was, but wait, we can't be the Jaguars. But yeah, that's how.
Geno Smith said, yeah, watch this. After that game, we got
Who we got next?
Washington and Denver.
I know for sure I picked Denver.
You pick
I pick
Denver. I pick Denver.
Washington.
Science pick Washington.
Shameful.
After that, we got Chiefs and Giants.
I know I picked Chiefs.
Everyone picked Chiefs. Chiefs.
They barely win.
But they call it that what they like.
They go all out.
Listen,
My God.
The Chiefs are now 4-4.
God, they look some serious
I
football.
don't understand what's going on down there, but I feel like these type of wins is wins that get you actually going. It is not always the big win. Sometimes you need that little beat up team in the middle of the season. Like the Patriots used to do it all the time. Like we'd always start the season off like 2-2 and be like, oh, they 500. Then all of a sudden, week 5, we bucking either the Jets or the Dolphins. That just is jumpstart your engine because you go there on a Sunday and it's almost like running a little practice or a scrimmage because you beating up on a lousy team. And
Right.
boy, by the time you get your oil and your gel together, boy, the next week you clicking.
Right. But click it. But okay, jumpstart to go against who? The Packers next week.
So it ain't a tight, but that on them.
Yeah,
All
I
right,
agree with
Packers, Raiders, Cowboys is that next 3 games.
Well,
that's a
if
gauntlet
they could
game.
win, if they could win one or I think they could beat the Raiders.
If they could go,
Because the Raiders
if they
players
could go
keep
two
on
or
track,
three,
man.
then that'd be a very good start. I think the Packers, I mean not the Packers game probably ain't winnable, but the Raiders or the Cowboys game could be winnable. Um, but I mean for the Chiefs, I didn't really take much from that game. I mean their running game going a little bit. It's good to see a diversified offense just a little bit, but they still struggle with the same things they've been struggling with all season. Turnovers, Patrick Mahomes still struggle with that. They didn't look confident pulling that game out. You know what I mean? Like you said, they barely just scraped across the finish line. So this next 3 week stretch will determine their season. So see how it goes.
Yeah, they're in the tight.
Next game, Patriots, Chargers.
Yeah,
Oh,
man. Run y'all talk.
this game disappoint me.
No man, this was the game
This
of the week,
game
boy.
disappoint me.
This was a
We
big
in,
game, boy.
I mean, Times big Chargers.
Shameful.
Just do the big parts. You pick parts tomorrow. Who they play? Parts to play the damn 72 Dolphins. You pick parts.
First of all, I didn't pick the
They can bet
Patriots
the
every
Cavaliers.
game because I picked the Buccaneers to beat them in week 4. But
Unless it's Brady.
Okay, Brady. Good. You pick
unless
Brady
it's
or
Brady,
Belichick.
unless it's Brady playing the parts, he got the parts
unlike
and everything.
y'all, like I say, my stats speak for itself. Because at the end of the day, I told y'all this the Patriots lost games, close games to big teams, or by the end of the games by making bad decisions. And this game, the Patriots in the last 2 games, we almost killed the Jets last week. I don't even know how they get playing this week. They supposed to get must see a bye I think last week. Um, and now we play the Chargers. The Chargers is a good team, but the Chargers is not to that level of elite team. In this game, the Patriots were able to pull it out because Justin Herbert is there, but he's on the of of being an elite quarterback. He's not there yet. Players like what he made at the end of the game, um, throwing a pick six, doing stuff like that. Those are what separates it from the great. So that's why I picked them because, like I say, I feel like in certain teams and certain games, the Patriots want to go on this schedule. We got the Panthers next week. Just let me see if we can knock their head off. The Browns. If this head coach stays the season, okay, just double cover Odell then. Let him force the ball to these other guys on the other side. Then we got the Titans without Derrick Henry, and then we got the Bills. The Bills probably our biggest team before going. It looks like the Patriots, and then the last 4 games coming out of that is Colts, Bills. Of the season we got Jacksonville and Dolphins. If we could stay healthy and we could keep the shit, the Patriots could sneak a wild card seed, 5 seed, 7 seed, going into the playoffs.
You optimistic?
Well, listen, he optimistic, but I'll be real. This season looking a little bit like the Bill Belichick revenge story right now. He out to
First of
show
all,
people that, boy, don't,
I
don't tell me
optimistic
I
because
know
they
it.
now 1 game out of the playoff spot.
Yeah, but for them to go and win all those games like that, I mean, let me look at that schedule again.
Okay, okay. I ain't even looking at the schedule no more. I looking at the conference standings. You got the Titans at the top 6-2. Obviously, Henry they're gonna fall. Then you got the Raiders at second place, 5-2. Was one of their best wide receivers today to DUI. He in a tight.
Yeah.
And Waller injured.
Mm-hmm.
Then you got Ravens and Bills. They can hold day one. They probably can be the top two teams once healthy. Then you got Chargers. Bengals just come off a loss to the Jets. Chargers just get beat by the Patriots, so we have the tiebreaker over them. And then you got the free falling Steelers. At the end of the day,
Yeah.
if the
And
Patriots
then,
rate underneath them, Patriots really could sneak their way
yeah,
over
okay.
Steelers. Don't forget that 7 teams go in the playoffs.
It's possible.
They got Dolphins, they got Jaguars, they got Colts. They
Exactly.
could beat the Colts.
Look at
I
that
don't think they
schedule.
could beat the Titans. They got
Without
Falcons.
Derrick Henry,
They got Browns. Yeah, but we assuming that Adrian Peterson could not replace Derrick Henry, but at least make them sensible. They got
okay.
Panthers. Yeah, I mean, besides the Bills
Besides the two
twice,
Bills game,
and yeah,
They got some winnable
the
games on the
schedule.
schedule. They got some winnable
Yeah, they
games.
have a lot of winnable games on the schedule.
Yeah, they got some winnable games. You know what I mean? Just gotta win them. If you win them, then you know, I want to make that case.
Yeah, it's very possible for true.
to be, I feel like even if obviously Tom Brady leaving, in order for him to prove himself, he had championship. In order for Bill to prove himself, I don't even think he needs the championship. All Bill got to do is get a playoff, and it'll be like, hey, obviously I played my part because we already established the player is already always greater than the coach, even if it's 60-40, the player, the coach. But at the same time, if a good team to the playoff to still be good, Bill could still say all Tom Brady. I still had my 40% that I played or my 30% that I did in that equation. So I feel
Right.
like him and
Also,
McDaniels, we just get them to the playoffs. That'll be a big thing for the Patriots this year.
but see, I look at it like for me personally, Philly ain't got nothing to prove. But like just looking at this Patriots team, the way they play week in and week out, to me, he have them playing at a high level, and this I want to really expect to be that competitive. Starting a rookie quarterback with not a lot of options as receivers, not a lot of receiving options and all that. This is a team that no one really expect to be this competitive, and he have been playing at a really good level. So I think for people who are fans of the game, they don't have nothing to prove. He already done his job.
Speaking of Brady,
Yeah.
our last game is the Bucks and Saints. Everyone picked Bucks. No one was brave enough to bet against Tom Brady.
First of all, this was Jameis Weeks to lose and injured in the first quarter. If
But
he
he
stay
come
on
on.
his losing track and stay, they could have easily
He,
lost this game if they supposed to.
Jameis came out there with fire, bro. He was hyped. He was ready for his revenge game.
He's like,
He come out there doing. He probably got injured because he was trying to do too much. He was trying to do
he's like,
everything that
I
game.
mean, so it's six
He,
for 10 for 50 yards. Jameis is really
Jameis was running all
giving.
over the place. But he was
Yeah,
scrambling.
he was
You know,
scrambling because he had to. But to be honest with you, that guy who came that what, Simeon came in and played a
Simeon.
hell of a game after that. Like he came in like I say, when they come in and they know they don't have nothing to lose, like they just come in and know that boy, if I ain't nothing to lose, the ball. And dog come in
you
here and
gotta
just
remember,
march our offense down about every time.
he's a vet. You know, he ain't really scared at the moment. He came out and he played feel like how you know how to play, and I will you. Um, yeah, gotta
I
give him
guess the
credit.
question is the question. I mean, and the Saints defense as well. But the question is now: does Simeon who's starting for the rest of the season? Simeon or Taysom Hill, who've been waiting on his chance.
But Taysom is
I
still out
think
with a
Mills
concussion,
could
right?
play if
Yeah, he have a
he
concussion
could.
right now. Yeah, he can be out all season with concussion. When he comes back, is he gonna take over the starting role or they go with Simeon?
More than likely, he can take it over. Hey, now that you say that, let me go on fantasy now and pick him. But yeah, I think he can come back
I
in
didn't.
and start.
Yeah, I think they can go with Taysom. And you probably could see
Especially
some
after they
If
give him
they
all
variation
that
of.
money.
if they didn't have Taysom, I would have said that this would have been an interesting landing spot for my campaign. But with Taysom in there, I don't expect it to happen.
Right, but it's the thing. I don't know what show it was on ESPN. They posed the question. I don't know if they posed the question about Cam Newton. I didn't see it, but they posed. I don't know who wrote this question, but the question came up: with Jameis out for the season, should the Saints look at Philip Rivers? That's what they asked on the show, bro. That's what they asked on the show, and I'm like,
Maybe
I
gonna
I
lie.
don't understand that.
Guys, I'm
Can't
looking
do it.
for
Can't do it.
when you come on game. One thing you cannot do, cannot turn the ball over. Cam problem is Cam has built a reputation in the past 2 seasons of turning the ball over. He's doing a okay job or regular job. He still have a job because guys like Teddy Bridgewater, they ain't out here blowing the league away with yards and touchdowns, but they also league in turnovers. If you look at some Winston, Jameis Winston, lucky he get a chance in New Orleans only because he was never signed to be the starter. He was actually signed to be the backup, and then he had a good opportunity in the playoffs. Give you 1 more year, and you see what he come and do this year. But the thing is,
Yeah, because that was kind of supposed to be Taysom job, to be honest.
exactly,
Yeah.
he had to cut down on the turnovers. You turning over the ball, nobody wants to strikes. That kills offense. That kills morale. Like Cam is a good guy. Just be on the sideline, cracking jokes and getting young guys involved and keeping the team energized. Cam be over here being the star of the show off the field. But then on the field, you giving the ball to the other team. Who's celebrating on the other team is the guys you let them score off your pick six and your fumbles. What you want me to do?
So you think
But
Cam
and
finish?
I wouldn't say
it
finish, but it has to be a
it's tough to say you finish.
dire situation for Cam.
Yeah,
I
it's
didn't
like
expect the Saints to
and
look at him. Go ahead.
no, but I'm saying it's like you. This is a guy who has acknowledged himself that his demeanor is too big of that. Like the aura that he carries himself, his aura is too big of that of a backup quarterback. So for him, it's not going to be easy to find a team that he could actually just seamlessly fit on because there's not a lot of teams like as Faulkner said that want a guy that's that much of a liability on the field as well as taking all the way the attention off the field. So it's just a tough fit everywhere, to be honest.
Yeah, you can't have
Yeah.
superstar. Can't want superstar attention, but won't play like a backup QB. Like that's his problem. Yeah, he still has that big aura. He still has that big name behind, which is superstar. But then at the end of the day, you ain't performing. And like I say, it's more on him because it's not like an Odell situation where someone has to give you the ball or someone else's job. As the quarterback, the job starts with you. The whole thing starts with you. So you gotta put yourself in the best position to succeed when you're a quarterback, and you have to put others in the best position to succeed as a quarterback. So if he ain't doing that, then things looking at that as what I bring.
Yeah. Last game of the night. is Cowboys versus Vikings. Everybody picked Vikings. Now, before we start this game, I just noticed something. You had 4 backup quarterbacks that run the road on Sunday. Ironically, we all predicted that those teams are going to lose. So those backup quarterbacks came and ruined our picks. Cowboys, because we all picked the Vikings. We all picked the Bengals to win, and the Jets won. We all picked the Bucks to win, and the Saints won. And who's the next one? Who's the next backup? And we all picked the Jags to win, and the Seahawks won.
Yeah.
I just thought that was ironic.
I
But
mean,
yeah, Cowboys, Vikings.
just like how our picks are distorted because we don't know what the backups bring to the table. It's just like the defense. Like when backups initially come in that first half game or that game after, is because the defense knows what to do. Until keep them same backups in about 2 3 weeks. Keep that same energy. The defense
They
do to
don't want
these
some
guys
film. Yeah.
once they figure out, okay, use a guy like Mahomes, them done getting figured out. So what you think about these fellas that move barely getting a taste of the game? That don't make no sense.
Yeah, but what do you need? Cooper Rush? Cooper Rush really showed that game.
So the system
Yeah,
didn't miss a beat with him in the game.
Games
But I
like
said though,
this
they say
show like these are play a part into the MVP race too. Because my thing is, if you don't play offense and your team don't miss a beat, really the most valuable player, the most valuable. Same thing I tell you before the game. Now, if the Titans go, and you could see a game, and now they start getting blowed or can't get into the end zone when they close because Adrian Peterson just isn't Adrian Peterson, even though I need him to be because that's my fantasy pick. But if we look at the fall off, and you'd be like, damn, you could see where Derrick Henry's being missed. And you saying, oh, Dak is the MVP runner. And you'd be like, oh, yeah, but Cooper Rush holding the same offense up to the same standard. Then what?
Yeah.
Do you still go by say, oh, the Cowboys have a better record and we got to go with this and the that and the next?
I agree. I think that's the biggest test to the word value. If I losing without you and I winning with you, that's the biggest test to the word value. And I always hated when team accomplishments kind of trump that aspect of value. So
Exactly.
yeah,
I think it's a little unfair.
What do you mean?
I think the biggest measurement of value. We really want to punish a guy because good team, like he's a good team around him. I think that's if we were playing sports. If we all us play sports again, if we were on a team that's capable of being a championship caliber team, I think all of us would want a team that if we go to injury or whatever, that team could still compete in our absence. You know what I mean? So I think I understand it, but I do sometimes think it's a little unfair.
Yeah, but number one, team award. And number two, that still furthers the point that, hey, the team was good without you. The team, so the award is most valuable player. And if you want a team where you ain't that valuable because the team really don't need you, that actually takes away from you winning most valuable player.
Right. To me,
I
value.
can tell right now.
As far as I think.
I can tell right now. What is better? A player that makes a bad team good, or a player that makes a good team great? Which one is better?
But why not make a good team great?
They can. We say it all the time. They can.
Yeah, I agree. I think one player could make a good team great. And to answer your question, that isn't that definitive because that could be equal. That same
Exactly,
player
but
that
the
made
team
that bad team good,
has to be good in the first place.
but that same player that made
It could be.
that makes that bad team good can also make that good team great. Like ain't like if you swap them, that player A, let's say player A makes the bad team good and player B makes the good team great. If you swap player A with player B, it would be the same result. So then what?
I think I probably could make that comparison a little bit better in basketball. But when we get there, we'll make that comparison. Let's stick to football for
No,
now.
but
We
I
get there.
get
You know why? You know why I
you
always
can't.
go with the player that makes the bad team good over the player that makes a good team great. Okay, situation of someone. Let's compare someone. Even if you like swap them, let's compare someone like who makes a bad team good. I would say Westbrook. Y'all would say Westbrook
That's a
don't make
perfect.
nobody better.
That's a
No, he
I
perfect
feel
example.
Westbrook is the
that's a perfect
That's a
example.
perfect
the makes
example.
the bad teams good.
Hmm.
But you know who makes a team great? Draymond. Draymond makes a good
Yeah,
team great. But if you
he
switch
does.
them roles and you put
It wouldn't be the
Draymond on
same.
the Washington Wizards, wait, Draymond
No,
can't do that with the Washington Wizards. If you put
No, but
Westbrook
and
on Golden State,
but
nah,
that begs
they
the
might
question
can't
again.
operate, but they'll still be a good team.
so that I
What
don't know.
that
That
begs the
still
question.
makes it.
That begs the question because well, if you're a person that's trying to win a championship, who would you rather have? Westbrook is a perfect example. Westbrook can make a bad team good, but if you're trying to get over the hump and actually accomplish your main goal,
You don't want it.
he can't really help you as much
No.
as a guy like Draymond can.
And
So that
and in
I
that
mean,
aspect,
Westbrook is a better player.
but I
You get
agree.
the point.
I agree with that. I agree with that whole idea of Westbrook being making a bad team good, but not making a good team great, and Draymond can make a good team great, but not make a bad team good. But you can't reward losing, and I think that's where they try to draw the line. Like you can't just have a player out here doing everything he could just to get his team to the playoffs,
Yeah,
but
you
not
can't
really
reward
winning. Because let's be real,
losing, but
this
these guys still get to the playoffs or they winning enough.
right, but this the NBA, this the highest league in the world. Honestly, any player, not any, but if there are 450 players, 250 could average 40 if that's all they focusing on. If they ain't focusing on winning, just focusing on getting the stats, they could average 40. So you can look
And
at
that's
the
why I
stats and
push
say,
back.
oh,
Yeah, and that's why I push back even with the LeBron hate, right? And everybody know I don't like LeBron. But one thing I'll honestly say about LeBron is he does not make other people better. He just puts them in better positions to win. Like you say, if you're a good player, you can average 25 points on a bad team, right? And you can get all the praise and you can get all the love and you can get all the adoration for averaging 25 points on a really bad team. But there's not a lot of players can now go to a good team and say, I'm the missing piece for this team to win a championship. We've
no,
seen it happen time and time again throughout history. And that's the hard part, being the missing piece to actually accomplishing something, right? You could always average 25 points in and on the line. You can shoot up all the ball. You ain't playing. You know what I mean? But when you have to actually play for something, that's when it's different.
yeah, yeah, I agree. I don't know. It's this whole MVP thing has always been uh, uh, a vague topic because it's so hard to define value.
Because I feel like you should all on circumstance. Like and you it, just like you can't blame me for not having a good team because I'm the player. I'm not the GM, and everybody is not lovers of men like LeBron who just calls guys up every summer and say, "Hey, we having party. Come down the South Beach or the Cali." So like it's not my thing. Like Damian Lillard says, listen, I committed to the city and I committed to the team, but at the end of the day, don't go there begging fellas to come to Portland. If you all go there and do your job and bring me a good center or bring me a good wingman or keep CJ or trade him for something else, fine and dandy. But I here to do my job. So it's like, in a
And that
way,
may come back to bite him in the
if I
butt.
go off and Damian Lillard is 35 a game and he gets Portland to the playoffs every friggin' year, and probably someone once in a while get them out the first round, like at least he should be considered in the top VP
I
race
agree.
rather than LeBron, who's stockpiling. Okay, you got the best big in the league or one of the best bigs in the league. Then you go and get Westbrook, friggin' one of the best point, arguably one of the most athletic, talented point guards of all time. And then you go stockpile Carmelo, and you get Dwight Howard. You got the whole top three fellas or the top
Hold
75 of all time on your team.
on,
Then you
hold
stuck
on
down
now,
with
hold on
Rondo.
now.
Now, don't make it seem like
We calling
LeBron don't bring these fellas here. Because
no,
these fellas is straight. Hello, them is
I
straight if they
agree.
warm out play. I only come here because LeBron called me. Not
I
Messi coming to play
agree.
him, Rob Palinka.
But I agree with your point. I agree with your statement. But you are adding all kind of stuff in there that you need to be in there now. Don't act like these people who LeBron pick up teams want it now because Dwight Howard was out of the league or Rondo. If LeBron didn't pick him up, he probably was out of the league. Melo was literally on his couch. Like,
Y'all
don't
gotta
make
stop.
these guys seem like these
First of all,
superstars who you pick up now.
Rondo was playing Anthony Davis, and they had that when he got Anthony Davis, he actually helped Anthony Davis out. Second of all,
Right. But my point is,
Carmelo wasn't on the couch. Carmelo actually came back with OKC, went to the Blazers and started showing up.
no, he came back with Portland. Okay, after
Yeah,
OKC
with
was
the Blazers.
when they right. But
Yeah, they
here's the
let him
thing.
go.
Let's go back to
LeBron
Rondo.
ain't get him off
Don't
the couch. LeBron get him from
where was where was where
OKC,
was
bring him
Rondo? Where was
Portland.
Rondo last season?
Clippers.
What was Rondo's last team?
The Clippers.
On the Clippers.
And the team before that.
Rondo played last season, the Lakers.
And Rondo didn't play in the playoffs. No, not the Lakers.
What?
No, you can't play with the
Before
Clippers.
Clippers. Before Clippers, who was?
Lakers, right?
Atlanta.
It's Lakers. Or Atlanta. Oh, no, you're right. Atlanta.
You get my
Atlanta,
point?
you're right.
Like he was
But
just
listen,
bouncing. Like nobody wanted him. And
Yeah,
this is
but you say
all
he's out the league.
after
And he's getting
he came
stats
from the
to
Lakers.
me.
No, he wasn't playing in Atlanta. And
No,
he
I say
forced
getting
it
he
out of
wasn't playing
stats.
Atlanta.
Atlanta.
He wasn't playing the Clippers.
He
He
forced his
gets
way out of
He wasn't
contract.
playing
Atlanta.
Atlanta.
And he went to he found his way onto the Clippers, and then he wasn't playing on the Clippers. They playing
Yeah, he
Beverly
wasn't playing.
and Reggie over him.
Yeah, but you gotta
Rondo was on
realize
his way
that's
out.
because Rondo has to play with people who could score. Those not if you don't have top players that Rondo could give the ball to or actually make them better,
Mm-hmm.
then Rondo becomes obsolete on your bench. They only
I
want
agree.
a lot, and then you have to realize basketball is also a business. I also that some people only pick up Rondo to get him away from the Lakers. Like some teams do that. Like teams
I
sign
agree.
guys for
Clippers
you.
definitely is to that. The Clippers definitely was to
Clippers
that
did
Exactly.
that for
bench
sure.
part right there. Yeah.
Um,
So
Clippers did that for
my
sure. But
my point is these players who these but not all of them, but Avery Bradley just got let go. Probably wasn't gonna have a job. Melo didn't have a job before Portland, and even Portland was like, we don't know if we want to sign you back. Rondo
Well,
bouncing from team to
get a
team,
man
third
here.
string, because Rondo was behind Trey and with the bunny Chris Dunn or something. He was third string point guard. Then we went to Clippers, he was third string. Nobody wanted these dudes. So now when they're in the Lakers, don't call them off like they are Hall of Famers, but they ain't in the Hall of Fame form. Treat me coming up, Melo.
My point was the fact that LeBron is going to call these fellas and get and sign them and
I agree, but
that was my
that's
point.
that's the way the world works. But I see huge team later to find him. But he honestly, that could bite him in the butt if he stay in Portland. He may not even be a first ballot.
But why should it?
no, because he's a retard.
I agree. I agree, Lo, but that's the way it is.
Dan compares himself to Giannis and Dirk, and I love Dame, but he's not as good as none of them dudes. So like and also the management is different, right? If your
Mm-hmm.
team, if your front office is not trying to build you a championship team, right? You loyal don't make no sense because they ain't trying to build you a championship team, right? So
No.
uh, I wouldn't say it'll bite him in the butt. Maybe this is what he wants. Maybe he'd rather just be loyal than to go and win a championship with someone else. But I'd say this: it's not as easy as he thinks it is. I think he thinks that if he just joins up with another teammate that he could win a championship. It's not as easy as he thinks it is. So the NBA is a tough league, but everybody have 2 to 3 superstars on their team. So you really need a good team to win a championship. And it just be one player jump and then you win.
Especially in the West.
Yeah.
Especially in the West.
Wait, what is
I
going
mean,
on in all of it? Wait,
Grady did call
damn,
Gronk. Grady let the
wait,
Gronk fight. Grady
yeah.
called Gronk.
You know, body say something. Wait, other players have done it. You know, sometimes you actually want to see teams and people pair, especially if they have good chemistry. The problem is, of times you keep doing it over. When LeBron did it the first time, they was like, okay, you get in the South Beach. Should be interesting. You slide. And you go get Ray Allen. Okay, you're cool. You can let that slide. Then you go on back to Cleveland. First thing you can say is, I signed on the dotted line and tell you I'll get Kevin Love. They legit had this deal hold up for like Minnesota got
No,
Kevin, released Kevin Love. They're like,
but
okay,
I,
okay, guy. What
I,
more you want? Come to LA and you destroy young core who is now all over the league. And all these young guys successful on different teams. So it obviously wasn't them saying, oh, these each and every one of those guys was LeBron and had to leave because he didn't want them to good on some other team. Then it's like, oh, now you bring in Smith. Shumpado Chair Twinkle Toes in on the stars, you
no, but
still call it.
it's the
And they got
same.
these other fellas, like you say, fellas on the couch. This is not a fifth time. Already did it, what,
No, hold
once?
on. Okay,
It's the
but
fifth
you acting like he
time now.
calling one. You had the names you calling Jr. Gronk. You calling Rondo, Dwight
No,
Howard.
no,
Like,
no.
come
You
on, bro.
talking about
Nah,
now.
I
Hold
was
on.
upset. I was
Anthony
upset.
Davis?
I was upset. Anthony Davis is one. It was only him and Davis. Who else is there?
Westbrook
So
said
I
his,
wasn't even
his own self
Westbrook.
that LeBron invited him to
Hmm.
LA and had dinner with him.
Yeah,
LeBron take this get him to the Lakers.
right. But now at this point, I know it ain't gonna work, so I don't even really care. But I was upset. But I was a LeBron hater when he's on the Heat, you know. I was LeBron hater when he's on the but I couldn't stand that heat, that white hot garbage. But all of that used to make me sick to my stomach. I was the biggest Dirk fan when they beat them. That's what team I couldn't stand. Cavs, I didn't mind too
Oh
much.
yeah, I had a light face. There.
Cavs wasn't
Right.
too bad.
That's my holiday, boy. What was left?
Cavs wasn't too bad. The Lakers when he came initially wasn't too bad, and this season now he trying to. No, even from last season. What season that was when he got Boogie Cousins too? That was 2 seasons ago. Eh?
Season that was 20
Season
minutes
Yeah,
ago.
ago.
that's when it was like, all right, bro, you really. And I know you're getting old and you need people, but I guess it don't feel no kind of way because they ain't dominating the league no more. So
This
maybe too the result kind of makes you feel a certain way. Like if they was 7-0 right now, I would have been pissing like this nigga always doing this.
this
But because I see they
wait,
having issues, it's like yeah, there you go. That's what you get.
what is it? Who wanted Westbrook? What you mean? Like I said, LeBron literally take this guy out on a date to get Westbrook. This guy literally turned on a Buddy Heel trade that was finalized. Already told Kuzma that you was heading to Sacramento. And LeBron say, hold on, let me call my little thing one more time. See, and he called
I
up there.
think
Hey, where's he?
I think I got
And
and
he
like
knows
about
what
him in
to
the
do.
pot. I think that hurt him because now they have like he's their
Buddy
best
Heel is on
second.
a
He's their second best shooter.
20 mil declining contract. Westbrook is 44 million inclining contract. He pick a double contract. Get
Yeah.
Buddy Heel and had 20 million spare to pick. This man gonna be
I
waiting to
think
get Westbrook, and you gotta ask who wanted
that was
Westbrook.
Grilling.
the worst
Ain't nothing,
GM decision of his life.
ain't nothing good has come from liking man, right? And I mean no offense to like I just speaking in Bayman terms. Bayman to
Hey,
watch
big
this kind of style
man.
they be. Ain't nothing come good from liking man. So not good has come from that.
No, I think he could feel it, and he put himself in a hole. Just like my point is, just have to work. I don't know if it can work or not. I hope it don't. But the point is, it have to, because if it don't work, you look dumb. Especially if it don't work because you don't have no shooters. Because you just turned down
You
one of
turned
the best
down
shooters
the
in the league.
all-time leading shooter in Sacramento history to get a flamethrower.
Right. So just have to work, bro. And I something
I
in me
mean,
tells me, even Palinkin, I was like, bro, Ron, you sure? Like someone in the front office that say, but you sure? You sure that's what you want to do? Because it didn't make no sense when he's putting the roster together, but dude have zero shooters. But
Go
but
on and
that's
get
it. I'm
listen,
sorry.
I said this
Camelo.
already.
Go on and get
I said this
Westbrook
already.
and buy him 3 brand new drafts and all.
But listen, I said this already, right? And I mentioned Kobe. LeBron will reach that point in his career where he realized all this foolishness he doing, he ain't making no sense. All this liking man, all this teaming up and all this doing stuff like that, trying to catch up Jordan maybe in championships. It ain't make no sense. And I feel as if this is the season he realized that.
Yeah.
And hopefully he put a stop there.
But the thing is, I think that pressure to catch Jordan and challenge Jordan really caused all this, because the tear that Jordan was on, yeah, it takes skill, but it takes a lot of luck too. You got to land in the right organization, you got to land with the right coaches, and that wasn't
Exactly.
happening for LeBron initially. So he's like, well, you know what, I can do this on my own, and so
But
he
and it
take
takes a lot
the
of bullying. Like I felt like LeBron let his foot up off the gas when like at certain points. Like to be honest, to be like Jordan, like even when you watch the documentary, even though that I still don't feel like that's the full story of everything. Like Jordan just was a savage, but like Jordan used to walk into the opponent's locker room, I gave you 45, and then go there and give you 45. Like Jordan used to come out there and literally humiliate his friends or so-called friends. Like he'd go and play golf with Charles Barkley and smoke cigars with these night before, and then come into your seat and embarrass you. Like the problem, like LeBron never had that killer. I feel like that's what really cost him a lot because it's. I think that's why he goes out and try to get that extra help because it's like okay, when I need that person who can take that final shot, or I could drive and take 2 people on or 3 people on, but when I kick it in the corner, I need that railing, or I need that or I need that
I.
someone else.
But for me, I think it's him overcompensating for what he didn't have in early on in his career. Early on in his career, he was carrying the whole team. He was doing everything. And I don't know who got in this air and say, bro, huh? I don't know who got in this air and say, bro, listen, he ain't got to be like this, But from there, he just overcompensate and try to stack teams now because he don't want to experience that where he was doing it by himself. But let's be real.
But
If he went to a sensible organization, he wouldn't have to.
he always says that the Boston team caused him to really evaluate his chances of winning a championship. And he said that when them dudes teamed up, he was like, uh, like he's like, wait, dog, I just got to team up and make my own team. But I
Mhm.
look at it like this, please. These dudes know what they doing when they do these super teams, bro. They know what they doing. You trying to make it so you basically have no chance of losing. That's what you're trying to do. They come out and say that. You know what I mean? Don't act as if uh, there's some sort of challenge for you, right? If you team up with a prime D Wade, a prime Chris Bosh, you're not trying to lose no games. Let's just be real. You're not trying to lose no game. You're trying to win every game possible.
Yeah.
I just wish people would be real about
So Ken, you think that Westbrook you could win a championship with Westbrook? Because I don't think so. I love as a Laker fan. I know you don't think so.
My problem with that is, as much as they criticize Westbrook, as much as they run on with Westbrook, does come in, contribute, and make it to the championship and win it, they still can say it's because of LeBron. And I can be like, you begged the man to come
But
here.
I think, but I no, but at
He
that point I would agree.
forcefully had to change his game because no one can make it. I don't care. You always give this man too much credit, but yeah, I don't care who comes to me. If I say I'm a shooter and I shooting this ball, Kobe Bryant could stand next to me and he better hope he touched that ball before me. And if I could do that, Westbrook say it.
Uh,
Like think about it. Westbrook probably I used to go to on this team. In his head, Westbrook think he's first option.
the best player.
So if he feel he is first option, and then the only thing that could stop him from feeling that he's first option is him. So if he could step back and say, "Wait, every night I get a tough matchup, but not every night LeBron have a touch matchup. How much good? Only about 5. So he got both good 15 other teams, 20 other teams where he could. Same thing with Anthony Davis. You got about 5 to 7 good bigs, and he could dominate every night. But me, I getting up every night against a top point guard, basically. Or maybe I should start deferring more or setting up more, this and that. You know what they can say? Oh, him and LeBron had a conversation, and LeBron got him to play. That's why they want to challenge. And as a he can sit there and be like, so I'm my own human. I've been my own human, and that's why probably is come out and still shoot up all the ball because he's
No,
saying,
but
we can win,
but
we
how
can win
many
my way. We ain't
how
gonna
many
win with
times
your
how many times Westbrook was on a team with a superstar and didn't make that sacrifice? So if he does make it with LeBron, you don't think LeBron should get no credit? Let's call out the superstars: KD,
I ain't saying no, you
Bradley
know.
Beal,
I
Harden.
saying he shouldn't take the ultimate credit because at the end of the day, that person still has to make the choice to change. And
Yeah,
then
I don't.
secondly, you Westbrook is on these other teams with guys, but Westbrook with KD and Harden,
Yeah, he
so it's
did.
like it's not like he never made it. They lose is because they run into a super team.
Yep.
I agree.
I mean, the thing is, like, I come down hard on Westbrook, but the reality is, none of this is his fault, boy. You know what I mean? The dude was having a fun time in Washington. You know what I mean? LeBron won follow his wife and thing on Instagram from the summer. Uh, doing all this weird, stupid stuff. You understand what I'm
Hey,
saying?
dude is a recruiter,
Um,
but
he just is a
he's
creepy nigga, and
he's a
he's doing
Hey,
all the weird stuff, and
like,
he's a
I know this for
revolutionary.
years.
He hold on now.
What?
He's a revolutionary. You got even you. Okay, here's my thing. If
he did
LeBron didn't
before.
do what he did, if LeBron didn't do what he did, would Brady have done what he did on the Bucks when he called
If
Gronk
what?
and
Say
AV?
that again.
That's an interesting question.
If LeBron didn't
If what?
do what he did, if LeBron didn't do what he did from Miami time,
Mm-hmm.
what and Cavs, would Brady
Mm-hmm.
have done what he did when he called Gronk and called AB and tell him, hey, look, come over?
And what does that have to do
In terms of recruiting,
one
in terms of a
another?
superstar recruiting players, like LeBron took it to the next
So
level, and now
you're trying to say the only
that's
reason
seeing
Brady
that's seen in all of
called
sports.
his you realize that Gronk first of all, the difference is you realize
Gronk
that
only could
Gronk
play with Brady. I
was
know that.
drafted to the Patriots. Tom Brady never went and got him after he saw him being so productive with someone else. Tom Brady actually made Gronk. Do you believe that
Yeah.
if Gronk was drafted to another team, Gronk would still be Gronk?
No, but I mean that could be Tom Brady. That could be
So Tom
you just say
He
it got to
still
be
be
your personal
exactly.
choice.
be a lead tight end though.
Exactly.
Still be elite.
Tom Brady even had a different part because Tom Brady wouldn't have been Tom Brady if he was.
But my
So my
point
thing is,
is, when
Tom
Tom
Brady
went to the
built Gronk,
Bucks,
yes, but you build a player and you create him and make him good, and then when you go, you say you want to take him. That's different than I see another player being good all on his own, and you're so mad. I just love to watch you play, and you're so
But we
great.
just
Come and
say
play with me.
that wouldn't have
Like
happened to
that's
the
not the same thing.
that wouldn't have happened to LeBron because of the position he was
He
put
do it to
in.
AB though. He ain't do it to AB. He
He
saw
keep
AB
AB
looking
out
good.
of
He said, "Well,
jail.
all right, hey, listen. He
You want to
get
answer the
up.
question?
The
He got
man
to
said,
talent. He ain't do it
Tony
to
Brown,
AB.
like, hold on. The fact that y'all bring this up is poetic because you need to go and watch the episode when AB was on LeBron Barbershop Lil Man Loving Show. And AB actually said, I actually reached out to Tom Brady. Y'all need to go and check your
No, I never
facts.
watched that. I never watched
Antonio,
that.
you never watched the one when he mustache blonde and he's freaking out when he's in before he is this when he reached out the first time.
Hmm.
I see him talk
When,
about Ben Bottle.
yeah, he talked about Ben
So do
Roethlisberger
you?
bad. And then he is saying how he wanted to work out with Tom Brady. And Tom Brady, him and them started building a good relationship. Brady relationship and probably call him to the Bucks. But don't forget, Antonio Brown came to the Patriots when Brady was there,
Yeah, you
and
remember.
that's when
You
AB
remember. So,
reached
but
out to him.
yeah, but it's the same. It's the same. How you just said LeBron called JR. He called who
Well, you
else he
gotta
called?
stop. That's the
Shampoo,
same.
and I just don't understand the difference. And what I'm saying is you can't really say
It's the difference is girl talk to you first, or you talk to your girl first. That don't make a difference.
no. But we talking about when he went to the Bucks.
Yourself
He
together,
went and
what's the
he
difference?
But
Yours
called
live
Gronk.
it's how
He went and he
how you
called
build that
AB.
relationship.
So building a relationship is the only difference.
Okay,
So
so where
Brady had a relationship with them.
was AB before he come to the Bucks?
The Patriots, eh?
No.
After Tom leave the Patriots, where AB gone?
Exactly. He went to the Raiders.
He's unemployed afterward. He's
Yeah.
unemployed after he
It's
left.
before the Patriots.
No,
Okay.
he does.
I remember
And
him. I
then
remember him being in the Raiders. I thought that was before the Patriots. Okay.
remember he get released again, and he was literally unemployed before he came to the Bucks. LeBron is
Another
going to
case.
recruit active prime players.
You
Prime.
trying to, you trying to nitpick on any simple
No, but
difference,
like
make it
Yeah,
seem
you
like it
yeah,
ain't
saying
the
is
yeah.
same thing.
wait, y'all only looking at it in hindsight. Tom Brady got AB. Like I said, he's out of the league. He can't be one of the top receivers no more. That league he come and he's still doing it here, tearing up before he get injured. When Gronk came to Tampa Bay and he called Gronk, nobody said, "Oh, this is the top tight end in the league." Gronk was three when Gronk
No.
came there. Gronk actually retired and was coming off a bad injury, and people was like, Gronk might not even start because they was a nice tight end there. So
I can't
everybody on
remember
Brady
Brady.
building this team, and they was like, "Oh, he getting nice pieces that he likes." Never recruiting superstars until they actually play with Tom Brady, and he makes them stars. LeBron goes guys who are actually superstars at the time, and then actually
But
diminish their career.
then not really now. Then he did that. He did it then. He did it in Miami. Uh,
The,
Cleveland was
the
alright.
one difference
There
I'd say,
are there are similarities, but there's
the
you
one
saying
difference
that
I'd say is this is Brady's first instance of of uh of doing this type of stuff. LeBron has a history of the recruiting stuff, right? Brady is doing it now that he is on the tail end of his career. So I give Brady a bly because the older you get, the more help you need. That's just with anything, right? So I give Brady more of a bly. LeBron was doing this while he was a young stallion, top two in the league. You know what I mean? That's when he was doing this stuff. That's when he was recruiting, looking for man. When he had all his young sea legs and everything.
But like we just say, if LeBron didn't do
prime
what he
man.
did to go to Miami, he would have been what Damon Lillard is now.
No, sir.
And you
No,
Stop
can't
it.
convince me otherwise. He
no.
would have
It.
been on the
Stop
Stop
Cavs.
it.
it. Y'all see, y'all
Stop
just
Okay,
trying up.
it.
Y'all just trying up.
let's
That's
make
Trying
enough.
let's
to say
okay. Let's talk.
That's
Let's
enough.
LeBron
talk
would
about it.
win
Stop that.
at least
Stop
one.
that.
I say he could win at least
Let me tell you
one.
something. LeBron would have had at least 2 championships by now.
With
At
who?
least 2 by
Yep.
now.
With who? You realize the championship
Listen.
that he won in the Cavs was Kyrie Irving. You realize Kyrie Irving was the number one pick. You realize the number one pick was
Okay,
lottery, in which they got
he
because
would have
LeBron
found
left.
We wouldn't have had
he would have
Kyrie.
found
We ain't
some
had Kyrie.
he would have
I
found
say
Good
we
enough.
need had
find
So
Kyrie.
who he would have been with?
listen.
Who he would have been with?
This is why I
No
can't
Williams
compare.
then?
Hold
I
on.
can't compare
Hold
the
on. Okay.
situations.
Look at the
I can't compare the
look at
situations.
look at what's going on when at that time when he left, right? It was 20. Boston was done coming down. So you ain't at Boston to worry about no more. Then you had Detroit, who was hard finish. So you definitely not Detroit. If you look at the East after 2010, that's why he was
What?
able to go to Miami and go to the finals 4 straight times. Who was his
Why you
biggest
say Boston was
competitors when he was going?
Why you say Boston was coming down?
Because those guys are starting to get hit with injury bugs. Kevin Garnett who couldn't stay on the floor no more. Then you had Ray Allen because him and either Rondo or someone else couldn't get along. And obviously it's just a cancer. And like I say, Boston was starting to fall, especially after that loss to the Lakers in 2010. Point, you had Eastern teams come and LeBron going into the super prime of his years. Like I said, who
With no
was his
Williams.
biggest competitors? No, but who was his biggest competitor? Who was they playing? Washington Wizards, the Pacers with Paul George. Like you don't think he could have beaten these teams
You're
without
saying that in
them
hindsight
super
now,
team?
but
Who was
LeBron going,
Derrick Rose who can't stay on the floor.
Come on, that Bulls team
Really?
is crazy.
LeBron
LeBron going
had
to
a
Miami
reputation
is what
of
killed
finals.
that Celtic team. You know, that Celtic team wasn't
Really?
dead when LeBron left.
No, we ain't saying he to win 2010,
Listen.
or 2011,
No.
Those years after that. After 2012, what was
Because Miami existed.
Like
That's what I'm saying. Miami
and
killed that
if
team.
Miami didn't exist, that means LeBron would have been in Cleveland along with probably some
No,
other
because
star.
Boston still would. What star? First of all, Boston still would exist. Secondly, LeBron stayed in Cleveland for 7 years and couldn't get a star. The best he could get was Mo
How can
Williams.
Boston still exist? These guys were already over there.
Okay.
How long you think they were still going to be
Let's
good?
do history lesson. Let's do history lesson. Good. Let's do history lesson. Right there. Right. When Boston Celtics first formed that team in 2000, right? They faced the Cavaliers in the second round.
Yeah.
They faced the Cavaliers in the second round. LeBron them took that series to 7 games. I was still a fan of LeBron at that point in time. He took that series to 7 games. Him won. Took that series to 7 games. This was Boston in their prime. Right? This is Boston in their prime. So 4 years later, Kevin Garnett fall off a cliff. You think LeBron wouldn't have get one?
You can't sit there and tell me in 08. You can't sit there and tell me 08 was the Celtics prime, then in 010 was their last year in their prime. Their prime last 3 years.
You mean 08
No,
when they
still would have
been
right. So you're saying 08 was their prime, but then 010 they was finished.
Yes. Between 08 and 010, that was
they
wasn't good after 010.
They was finished because Miami existed. If LeBron didn't go to Miami.
So you just thought these old guys
done by 010.
You realize that Garnett at the end of their career, you forget they gone to Brooklyn together. These guys gone to Brooklyn and look stink.
Yes, but it wasn't. Garnett wasn't. You ain't Garnett was 37.
And then you got to look at the trajectory where LeBron career was on.
LeBron was on this incline, and these guys coming up.
Exactly. This dude was the first seed in the East multiple times.
Right.
He is in the finals once. He knocking on the door for a championship. You right there. You knocking on the door.
He knocked on the door 9. He knocked on the door 9 times. How much time he went? Y'all. I think y'all putting his ceiling as as
those times with a super team.
Championship. So LeBron could have won championship on the Cavs facing who? Who won in the West those times? He couldn't beat Kobe's Lakers with Paul Gasol and
hold on, we talking about after 2010, bro. We talking about the times before when he chose to went to Miami. Kobe's Lakers wasn't good after 2010.
Right. So I count from 2008 go up. So he couldn't beat Kobe's Lakers. So 2011 was who? Miles?
Dallas?
Was it the Miles?
Yeah, Dallas.
He could have beat the Dallas Mavericks.
The super team lose to the Mavs.
Yes, because he was liking man. That's why
The
he
super
lose.
team lose to the Mavs. And he could do it. He couldn't do it with Wade and Bosch, and he could do it with Mo Williams.
I
Yeah,
do
so
believe in that case he could have done it. I do believe he could have done it.
maybe not 2011,
He
Y'all
could have had a
crazy.
chance.
but
He
who went
could-
2012?
OKC, he could have beat OKC.
OKC with
I think they'd have beat OKC in that because they were still young. Don't make it.
who was they? Who you calling they? They as in LeBron and Mo Williams?
No, we talking
LeBron
about
would get one more piece.
Who would have
LeBron
given
would
him
get
one
one.
piece? He's been there for 7 years and couldn't get a piece. Why you think he would have get a piece now?
No, don't forget they had bad.
That front office was
contract for
doing
me, yeah.
nothing for him.
Yeah, no. I like to blame this front office because y'all don't like to blame LeBron. He did it. They had them bad contracts with it's Jonas. They had Larry Hughes with that nasty contract.
What they
I
got to
don't
do
know
with
who
LeBron?
gave him that crap. Exactly, but he was coming off of them when he left the Cavs. The most cap space recently. If he'd have stayed that year and get at the time when Max was 30, 32, they still had enough space for one more Max. They had to get a Max
Yep,
player. They
they
could
did.
actually spread that out over three other players. LeBron actually had a space for one more Max. The problem was he wanted two Max. He didn't want one more player. He wanted to try and get two other players.
He was trying to get Wade and Bosch to come to Cleveland.
I know about Bosch.
Impossible.
I know for sure you wanted me. I know for sure you wanted me trying to swirl around and Mary Stoudemire.
Yeah, he's trying to get married.
But I wasn't taking no discount. Especially
Yeah.
Stoudemire. No, he wasn't even that good. And he only was looking that good off of Steve Nash.
They had one good Max Reed.
Ain't nobody just going to if Wade wasn't going, Wade and him was close friends, ain't a random person was going to the league.
But
Didn't Wade still end up there for one?
Hold on, man. Listen.
After
Really?
after thinking over,
Really.
after his prime is
We
over.
have to listen how
As much bad as he is called, you don't think he would have called behind there?
Exactly. Really, listen how stupid that sound in hindsight, right? People that say that's foolishness all the time, and I don't understand it. No one would have come to Cleveland with LeBron. This nigga is the best or the second best player in the NBA. No one would have come to play with him. That make any sense? No one would have come to play with him.
A superstar. His best friend didn't even come.
Hold on.
His best
Didn't he
friend.
don't make it like when he went back to Cleveland, he didn't make and get one of the best power forwards in the league at that time.
Yes,
didn't he
but
still
that
get
was
someone to
after
come
the
to Cleveland?
Miami thing. That was the Miami
Oh
thing.
my God.
That was
You
after
think Kevin Love
Miami.
you think Kevin Love come because he won a championship in Miami, or you think he come because
Yes.
LeBron?
No, because you see what he could do in
No,
No,
Miami.
so you have wait, Graylen, you gotta stop. You gotta stop.
Okay,
So
so
what you win in the
so
championship in Miami have to do with me coming to.
So let me
I
ask
can
you a
see you say,
question.
okay, I come
So
into
for the first-
Miami.
So for the first 7 years of his career, nobody wanted to come there.
He never
We
tried.
But y'all
just
feel like
discuss contracts. It's also a business. No one could have come there because there was no space.
for
all
7
those
years,
contracts-
right? Because I don't know no
Yeah.
contract that's go for 7 years. So for 7 years,
You forget they had all the
He could-
trash Ricky Davis, them on them big contracts.
he could.
But you
Yeah,
better
but they've
go
been
pull up
gone.
the
When he
thing
left,
there.
Ricky Davis
Yeah,
is gone.
when Ricky Davis is gone, they signed Larry Hughes, and then they go and get Drew Gooden, and then they go and Gulskis to that big contract. They even had Shaq
my
on
point,
that
so you-
team.
Okay, so you see what that's my point. So you see what the front office getting him, and that's the reason he left. He's like, wait, listen, this is what y'all doing. We talking about him not recruiting. So don't tell me he could go out and recruit someone, because we're saying if he didn't recruit, my point is if LeBron didn't recruit, didn't leave or recruit, he wouldn't have went. Because y'all
You know
saying
why
him
he
recruiting
left?
is him like in man. So let's say he didn't do that. He wouldn't
He
have went.
left because they didn't
If he
let
left
him
it in-
recruit.
Right. So if he left it in the front office's hands, he would not have had a championship, and he would have been a Damian
No, no,
Lillard
no,
right
no.
now.
No,
Stop it, wait.
he
Damien
won't
Lillard
whine
got
and
him.
complain. You as a player, you come to a team and you won't whine and complain because the team don't allow you to bring your boyfriends to the team. That make any sense?
No, one because the team is not bringing me anybody with sense, and then
No,
two,
who you want?
they would allow me to bring someone. Okay, so you bring me Drew Gooden. Who else you call up to that? Drew Gooden. Mo Williams, Larry Hughes,
Larry Hughes.
he gone there with the guys because I think. No, he gone there with the guys because the guys has been
I
into
think
the
Algarve
Boozer
was
there
there,
too,
but
right?
they
Yeah,
they
Boozer there one
they
point.
re-signed him to a big extension.
This who the front office getting you. I mean, Jordan in his 7-8 year, they get him Pippen, they get him Broadman a couple of years later.
No. Who
The front
Jordan is
office is
getting
what I'm
this for
saying.
his 7 years? Who Jordan is getting this for his 7 years?
In the first 7 years, no one. He got Pippen in his
No. We say for his 7. Don't count the 90s. Jordan been in the league from 84. You know what is for his 7? Garbage. They wasn't
nobody.
bringing
That's what
nothing
I'm
to
saying.
Chicago.
Right. I'm comparing them
But
too.
did
So
Jordan
same
go
thing
and
with LeBron.
but did Jordan go and
No,
recruit? Or did
the
Jordan
front
leave
office did it for
and
him.
say, oh, let me go and ask
The
friend,
front office
I
did
don't
it
know
for
who's
him.
Jordan.
He had
How
Jordan had a
how did the
sensible
front
front
office do that
office,
for him?
a competent front office to go and get Pippen. LeBron's front
Pippen was a
office was
scrub.
getting
Why you
Larry
better
Hughes
stop?
and
See? That's where let's go. So you think when they draft Pippen saying, wait, this is enough. They didn't even draft Pippen. But you know where Pippen was drafted? Pippen wasn't even in D1. Pippen was in
so my
D2.
point
But we
is
could have gone off to school and make
you
D2.
yeah, my point
Get
is
it?
you
Like,
focus on
what the hell?
technicalities, but the
Get
point
it?
is
Get it?
after Jordan's 6-7 year, he got help. LeBron never got that help.
Get it?
So
But
why
that was
not
a
leave?
When I
mistake,
figure you out.
Braylon. That was
Get it? I
intentional.
figure you out. I figure you
So
out. You love
there
the
goes
spread
that
They
from
didn't
luck.
Ghana.
get they didn't get Rodman
You love the spread
enough for
from
his three
Ghana.
championships.
Yeah, I say a couple years
Without
later they got
Rodman.
Rodman. And I said after a couple
Get
years
So
they
it?
what
got
about the
Rodman
first three
Get it?
championships he won with that same
Get
team
it?
he had?
Understand?
with Pippen.
Pippen
But
wasn't
let me tell
even
you
good
something.
then.
Get it?
Go and look the first three championships and look. Pippen was not
What
an
you saying,
all-star
son?
until after the first three championships.
Get it? You have to remember when they got Mo Williams, that actually worked. That worked out for them. They went to the Eastern Conference Finals. They had the best record in the East with Mo Williams. All right, you can't argue that the Cavs said we could do nothing. The Cavs give this nigga talent, or whatever. You may say it's not great talent, but the Cavs give this nigga talent, and they was actually a successful team.
Right.
No, yes or no?
I see Boston over there stacking up Hall of Famers. Let me tell you something, I can get you Mo Williams.
But no one on Boston begged
It
for
almost
Hall of
worked.
Fame.
You run that nigga out of Cleveland.
Did
It
Paul
always
Pierce
worked.
go and say, buddy, y'all better go trade for Garnett and y'all better go trade for Ray Allen? Or was that Kevin
No, the
McHale?
front office was competent enough. LeBron's front office, that's the only difference here, you know. LeBron's front
Hey,
office was not
my
competent. So LeBron said, I
my
can take this in
job
my
as a
own
front
hands.
office is to get the best players that I can afford for my team. Your job is to play on my team. So don't blame me because you
So
can't make it to the championship with that
Listen,
team.
and
That's not
the
my
only,
fault,
the
bro.
only fault the only fault I get the front office, because like Xperts and say, they had some contract situations. The only fault I get the front office was they had an offer right before LeBron's free agency to trade for Amari Stoudemire, and that's when JJ Hickson was coming up, and they wanted to hold on to JJ Hickson. That's the only fault I give of that front office. They wanted to hold on to JJ Hickson in favor of Amari Stoudemire. However, that summer,
that's for a couple of years.
yeah, that summer they had a max space. They could have gotten anyone. They could have waited till the following summer and gotten someone else if they didn't get no one that summer. So to me, help was on the way. You can't argue help wasn't on the way. Help was on the way.
You know what? The CM pitch you're giving me is the CM pitch. The Portland Trail Blazers just give Damian Lillard every year.
No, sir.
That's
No,
why
sir. The
he's
difference
staying.
is, okay, let's look at LeBron teammates. No, let's look at LeBron teammates.
Damian
Mo
Lillard say because of himself.
Mo Williams is an all-star. Antoine Jameson was an all-star.
Oh, that's another one they brought in and pay a bunch of money to, Jameson.
Yeah, they brought him in. This is all to try to get LeBron some help now. They brought in Shaq on the tail end of his career. Did they not do that? This is all the try to bring
and then
LeBron.
Shaq around. That was even though Shaq was in there no more, that was a good attempt. I'm pretty sure LeBron
That was a good attempt. Exactly. Let's not argue if they didn't try. Now, what LeBron fans would like you to believe is that they didn't try at all. LeBron fans like you to believe that, he just played with a bunch of scrubs.
It ain't
a bunch of 57s in that
ain't,
yeah. The only name they want to call is Bobby Gibson. That's the only name they want to call like only LeBron and Bobby Gibson play. But they so sick.
That's what they would not even believe it.
That's my point. Yeah, all of a sudden, after 7 years, they can figure it out. But it ain't about trying; it's about doing. I don't care how, as the front office, you look at the player. Oh yeah, he trying to make the championship, so we can leave him. No, you ain't doing your job, so I gotta go. Just as how if LeBron wasn't doing his job, the front office was getting rid of him. It's the same thing. The front office didn't do their job for 7 years, so he had to leave. Now I hated him. I couldn't stand the heat. I thought it was overkill. Because if you want to join a team, could join a team, bro. But you don't want to do what you did. When he went back to Cleveland, I was like, you know what? I respect that. He's promised to bring a championship to Cleveland. He did it. But then the move to LA, it's like, bro, yeah. See, I gotta go back and start hating you again because you just want some dumb. Like, but I honestly think he intended to spend the rest of his life in Cleveland, in his career, sorry, in Cleveland. But Kyrie didn't see that coming. The move that Kyrie made. And even after Kyrie left, he tried to do a little something, get Wade, Rose, all them people he tried to get, but ain't nothing was happening. So he's like, "Wait, let me go to a team. I know I could change my team every year because they got the money."
I don't understand why you be trying to compare it, right? And at the end of the day, right? My thing is, before these guys play with LeBron, that he's one team up with. These guys is all stars, probably superstars. Some of them were superstars. You talking about the organization getting Pippen. At no point in Pippen's career, even the 2 years that Pippen even that Jordan retired, Pippen was like, boy, I looking at these stats and I looking at this like, boy, my God, if Jordan gone and you shooting like 20 more ball a game, you can't average 20 points in 1995. Like,
Yeah,
what's
but
going on? Like, my thing
we
is,
talk
was Pippen was Pippen ever good without Jordan?
we talked about players that can make bad teams good, and we talked about players that can make good teams great. And Pippen was one of them
No,
players.
no.
He couldn't make a bad team good,
But he
but he
can make
can
a
make a
good team
good team
great.
great. Yeah.
Okay,
All right, now
But
stop right there. Stop right
LeBron
there.
on guys. Yeah,
Stop right there.
LeBron,
LeBron.
Stop right there.
in the
Right.
first 7 years, LeBron had not a single player on his team that could make a bad team good, nor
Again, again,
a good team great.
again. LeBron fans would love for you to believe that. They would love for you to believe he's playing with a bunch of Joneses. They'd love for you to believe that.
He
They'd
was.
love for you to believe that he's playing with Monta. They'd
Wait,
love for
that
you to
team
believe
was
that.
so stacked in '07 and '08. Wait,
Wait,
y'all gotta
Stacked.
stop. Wait,
wait.
LeBron team was stacked.
Why we
in the
why we
East,
asking?
compared
Listen,
to the East, that team was stacked in the East, bro.
I gonna
Don't
put it
make
this
it
way,
seem
right?
like
Don't compare
LeBron
to no. Why you keep trying to split things up? Kobe have a monster team in the West, and you keep talking about
monster,
one team stuck in the East.
bro. You realize
Bynum,
that y'all didn't even rate Pau Gasol before Pau
stop
Gasol
it.
come to the Lakers.
Who didn't rate Pau Gasol?
What was Pau
Bynum was
Gasol
the
before he
second
come to the
best center
Lakers?
in the league. Pau was a
Pau, Bynum was a rookie. Bynum used to come off our bench, bro. You know who used
yeah.
to start over Bynum?
Don't
Kwame
say Kwame.
Brown and Chris Mims.
As soon as
Chris
Kwame get
Mims.
injured, and as soon as they run Kwame, Bynum at the time was the second behind Dwight Howard, best center in the league. Bro.
Yes, after they give him playing time and after he played the good, but Bynum used to be so deep on our bench. You can't, but trust me, the Lakers conversation, I know where Bynum come from, but
So
Bynum used to,
don't
but
see. I'm not defending
you know how
LeBron's
long
man.
Bynum been on our team?
Yeah, I
Don't
know.
forget now, you're talking about 2008. Bynum been on our team
I
from
just watched a documentary
2005 when Shaq
when
left.
Shaq
And
left.
remember
Yeah,
when he
he was a
came back,
rookie,
Shaq dunk on him, and he came
and
back
he
and dunk
and
on
do the
Shaq.
spin move on Shaq. I just
So he
watched a
was there
documentary on
like,
him.
so by the time Bynum actually became good, he was done in year 3, year 4. Kobe didn't
So
go and get Bynum.
I'm
Even
not.
that
I'm
power
not.
thing, that was I don't know, boy.
But
That was
I didn't say Kobe. Kobe didn't have to because he had a competent front office. So my
no.
thing
You
is,
realize that Memphis initiated that trade. They was
so
actually
you
trying to dump Pau Gasol off.
right. So
Look
you
what they
think no
took.
one ever
Look what they
initiated
took.
a trade for
They
the
took
Cleveland Cavaliers?
they took Kwame Brown and Javaris Crittenton and he fully loaded gun. And you can tell me that they wasn't trying to dump off Pau Gasol. You think that was a fair trade?
My point is, LeBron sat there. He was patient. He was obedient, as they would want him to be. And the best he got was Mo Williams, who ain't even Dame get better than that because Dame got CJ.
But how CJ get that?
That's
Drop it.
that's irrelevant. At the
Oh
point
boy.
LeBron went in there, he said, "Hey, I could bring a championship." He being a nice young man, I could bring a championship. Cleveland, it's my hometown. It's not playing hard for 7 years, getting MVPs, making it to the finals. And he's looking like y'all can give him some help. Yeah, we got you. But y'all see what Boston doing? Y'all got him some help, right? We got you. We got you. Sending them Mo Williams, Larry Hughes, and thing. Sending him. Well, they tried to send him Shot, but Shot was then past his prime. But the point I'm trying to make is LeBron had to have done what he
Okay,
did in order
you
to
saying
chase Jordan. He couldn't
so?
chase
Why
by
did
time
LeBron have to do these things, right?
Okay,
But Dirk didn't have to do it in 2011.
Dirk wasn't chasing Jordan.
so watch
No,
this.
but we
I
talking
agree with
about
you, you know.
win. How come Dirk could have come
I
out
agree
and
with you.
win with a team that wasn't a superstar team? Jason Kidd was way past his prime. Jason
Yeah,
Kidd was
LeBron.
washed.
LeBron probably
Tyson
would have.
Chandler was washed. Like
Yeah,
Jason
Dirk did
Terry
it.
was
Dirk
still
did that.
six
What? Yeah,
man.
15. Yeah,
Yeah,
14.
exactly. So how you could
Yeah,
tell me
Okay,
LeBron.
so okay.
LeBron can't do it in his
So you don't
prime,
think LeBron would
but
get two?
Dirk could do
You
it
don't
in
think
his
LeBron could get two?
late years?
LeBron. Okay. LeBron probably could have get a championship and a
He could
half
get two.
in 14 years. Okay.
Exactly. That's all we saying. He'd get at
And
least
guess,
one.
and guess what? And
That's
guess
all
what?
I
We would
said.
look at those
I
two
ain't say he'd get
championships
six.
more favorably than how we look at these other championships we have right now.
So
But
he
just
would have
all,
he would have been the GOAT conversation.
of course not.
Yes.
Oh,
He'd have been in the same conversation that he in right now.
stop. That no true.
The
Exactly.
Stop.
same
That's
He would
conversation
have
that
still
he
BS.
in
been in
right
the.
now.
He'd have been
That
in
no
the same
He'd been in
that's
the same
conversation.
one.
BS. That no true.
All
Now
no,
that's
we
now
say
In the
that's
we
same
would
BS.
conversation he
look
in right
at
now.
we'd look at that one or two championships just as much as we look at these four.
That's not true. That's
He'd been in the same
BS.
I
conversation
telling
that he in
you,
right now.
but no
No,
one rates
sir.
the.
The same one he in right
No,
now.
sir. Don't tell me no one rates them because they rate other people low. So don't tell me no one rates them. LeBron is in the GOAT conversation. Will he ever be the GOAT? Probably not. But he is
So how
in
you
the
get the
GOAT
code?
conversation.
How if you already come
He's
to that conclusion? What is the
I
conversation
didn't come
about?
no,
Second
I
place?
didn't come to a conclusion. I said probably
Okay,
not. I don't know what he would do in the
everybody
next
else
couple of
comes to
years.
that conclusion.
Nobody
Even if he wins now with Anthony Davis and Westbrook, really, it's just about. This is this is sad.
Right. I was gonna get there too, Ken, but I didn't get there yet because the Bulls was nice. That Bulls team was well put together to the point that when Jordan left, dudes were second in the East. So yeah, Pippen wasn't putting up 40 points, but that Bulls team was well put together. The Cavs, when LeBron left, lottery after lottery after lottery after lottery. They had like four.
But
They
you see,
had
this is
they had
see
Wiggins,
this.
they had Kyrie, they had
Hey,
what the boy name
now why
who
Wait, but
the
this
power
is
forward
where
now why
y'all just go wrong,
why
bro.
you think that
Y'all
why you think that
can't be
is true?
putting
Why you think that is true?
because
these
because he
second
has a
place and
competent
third place
front
things
office.
when you talking about GOAT. When you talk about GOAT, you can't be running on about the team still make the
No.
second round without me and all these other like no one cares, bro. GOAT
You
means
just
you
talked
gotta
about
win
value.
championship, bro.
Love, you just talked about value.
Yes.
Jordan gone.
But you didn't do nothing. Making the second
Jordan,
round is doing nothing.
right. I'm talking Pippen. I'm saying Jordan gone, and his teams
Yeah.
lost like 5 more games.
Yes,
They
and you
still
lost
was
the
good.
championship.
They still was good.
But you couldn't win the championship.
LeBron gone. His team was lottery picks. Who's more valuable?
But that
We
don't
ain't
really
talking
Just
mean
about
that you
valuable now.
use
We talking about GOAT. We ain't talking about valuable now. We talking
no.
about GOAT.
What I'm
Because you
saying
had
is
other
LeBron
people
is
who was way more
that really mean
valuable
that
than LeBron
okay.
to his thing. Iverson was obviously far hell and higher.
Right.
Far did Iverson complain when he carried the 01 Sixers to the championship?
Did he complain about what getting
okay.
help?
Yeah.
No, he didn't complain. I don't think LeBron complained when he
This
won
guy
his
had
first championship too.
this guy had
Right.
Matumbo. No, but when I say
We
complaining,
should
LeBron got there and didn't have enough help, and he left. Iverson got there and didn't have no help, and they still had to force Iverson out of
No.
Philadelphia.
LeBron played after that
but no,
Yeah, but he
you're
left.
missing one key.
Iverson
LeBron
never
ain't
eventually.
left.
even
They
LeBron
traded him.
LeBron ain't even complain. LeBron is them type of niggas. He break up with a
LeBron take
gal
his jersey
and
off.
he the type of niggas he break up with a
Wait.
gal. The
No,
next
man.
day
I
he tell
LeBron
don't
all
take
know.
game
he tell
over.
all her friends.
I don't believe that.
He tell all
I
her
believe he
friends
had some
I'm out sick. He tell all her friends
I
I'm
What
out
believe
sick
communicate?
the whole time. He asking
Krillin,
them if you out
we
sick. She said no
watch.
man.
I believe he had some communication with Gilbert.
He ain't
That
complain at
Gilbert
all.
was salty.
He ain't complain at all. He
That
sit right
Gilbert
there
was
like a
salty.
humble soldier and just leave. That's what he is doing.
Dog
Y'all,
walk
He
to
y'all
the
complaining
taking
a
locker
this.
lot.
room with his jersey off. He take his
Yeah,
jersey
you
off
take
in
your
the
jersey off.
tunnel,
Yeah,
bro. In
and
the
they was like,
tunnel. And everybody know this. Like, this is maybe the last time we see LeBron James in this arena. How everybody know what's going on
Complain.
with you? Like,
my
Come
my
everybody
ain't
know
only
you ain't
complain.
built like that, bro.
listen. My
Like
only point. My only point
Wayne say when he
is
left Miami. Wayne say when he left Miami. So he was sitting right next to him. He's sitting right next to LeBron on the plane and did not know what LeBron's decision was. Did not know whether LeBron's to stay in Miami or whether he's to leave. LeBron don't complain. He just say, boy, I can leave this place and
I
I can tell none of these niggas until they find out
I
the truth.
in
can't wait till
no
he,
That's
I
exactly
can't
what
wait
he's
till he
doing.
leave the Lakers.
in Miami. I don't think it was. I don't think it was complaint. I think it was more of him wanting to fulfill his promise and go back to Cleveland and win a championship in
Hold
Cleveland.
on.
But
You
my
realize that when he left Cleveland the first time, Cleveland wasn't even the second option. It wasn't, oh, I go to Miami and okay, if I can't get a contract, I just can stay in Cleveland. He didn't even give Cleveland the second option. LeBron was getting to
that's
the next.
that's not true because Cleveland was the first option. He was trying to get way there. You forget it.
No, no, no. He was trying to get Wade there in the season because they was trying to sign and trade. But I talking about in the off season, Wade
So
never had no intent. Wade
yeah, no,
never
in the
fly
off
up
season,
to Cleveland.
in the off
LeBron
season,
fly down to Miami.
yeah, in the off season he was already mentally out of there. But he
But
tried to
that's what I
recruit.
talking about. I talking about like that July first when free agency opened. When free agency opened that July first, it was like okay, Miami is the first team that could sign him. Then it was New York next had a chance to get him, and then it was like someone else they said must be Denver, somewhere team they're trying to throw in there. And I was like, so sicko, he's a sicko, you know. I was like, wait, Cleveland, oh Chicago was the third team. Remember? Because Chicago was trying to get Melo, and Melo did sign that extra year, and they
With
was trying to
Melo.
get Melo the following year because they wanted Melo and LeBron together in Chicago. But that definitely wouldn't have worked. But Cleveland was like the fourth, fifth team on the line.
My only point is, dude was trying to chase Jordan from day one. He couldn't do it on the Cavs. It wasn't gonna
But
happen.
why?
He would have had, like you say, he would have maybe get two. And like everybody say, you lying if you saying two equal to four.
But why did he feel like he had to do that? Like I don't. His game
Why he
never
feel he had to chase
translated.
Jordan? Then
Yeah.
I don't know.
Because
I don't
his
know why.
game never translated to
Listen,
Jordan's game. I don't
listen.
understand like the whole his path to the NBA league wasn't even the same as Jordan. So I don't know where he felt. I don't even think to this day him and Jordan wasn't even that cool. Like Jordan and Kobe was more cool than Jordan and LeBron.
No, I think he just wanted to be the greatest. Most people don't come in the league saying, "But I want to be the greatest." But he came in with those expectations. Listen, I want to be. I don't even think
I,
Kobe came in
I,
saying, "I want to be the greatest."
listen, I give LeBron credit for this. LeBron decided he's going to make his own path to greatness. He said, you know what? I ain't going the way everybody want me to go. I can go my own way or whatever, and I can see if I can catch greatness that way. And I give him credit because it's put him in a very good conversation. However, I do think it was unnecessary because he could have had two, and you can make a case that hey, if he had two by now, I don't think he ended his career with no more championships. If he ended his career with three championships without joining the super team, he's looked more favorably than a lot of players in NBA history.
Then
More
Jordan,
But
favorably.
though.
There are a lot of people
you're
that
not gonna
will
pass
never
Jordan,
pass.
bro.
You're not gonna pass Jordan. Stop it. You can't pass. There are a lot of people,
But you don't
even
join the
now,
league
that will
super
never
team.
put
You
LeBron
don't
over
cost
Kobe.
himself.
I don't think so. I mean, I think it's too late. I don't think he could win four more championships. But I don't think at the time he was on Miami, he still could have passed Jordan. At the time he was on the Cavs, he still could
No,
have passed Jordan. The
we're
second
talking about
time,
now with his four. With his four right now, even if he
it's
wins
too.
one more, like no one cares.
No,
Like it's too late.
I think it's too late. Yeah,
But like we saying, even if he won three by himself, you still wasn't gonna pass Jordan. So the whole thing was like at some
the
point,
circumstance he's put in,
like it's like you ain't gonna pass him regardless. So he
and
would do
he
all
and
yeah.
he and he was serious about trying to do it regardless of his circumstance. And I think that's where all of this up and down, good decision, bad decision thing happened. Could you blame him, given that you know his motivation? I don't blame him. I
He
hated
said
it.
it on his own mode. He wanted to chase the ghost, and the ghost is in Chicago.
Yeah,
So he put all that pressure on him. My thing with LeBron is, and LeBron fans is, I always tell people I do consider LeBron a great. I do consider him an all-time great. he is a very great player. That's all I say. He's not the GOAT. GOAT is the greatest of all time. It's great, greater, greatest. He's not the greatest, but he sure is. He sure is great. I give him that. But see, they don't even want to give me that when I say they say, "Oh, you hating on LeBron." How could I hate on a guy who I call great? And obviously, I does it. I does. I do admire his off the court antics. Like the guy has been spotless off the court. He's building probably $1 billion empire, and that's cool. But on the
Yep.
court and whatever, he's great. He's just not the greatest. That's all I just want
He's
to say.
very womanish
They
as
don't even
well.
let me say that.
The shot for the fullest play press end.
Yeah, man.
It is good to be
Y'all got any final shout-outs? Any final shout-outs before we head up?
Yeah. Shout out the solid pods and the shines that help us be on every week. I had to use Shine Current today, so you know, he had to
You
do what he
see,
had to do
you
to
see you there.
make
You got
keep up.
motivation to give us an opening song and all.
Yeah,
Nice,
I
yeah.
gotta I gotta get internet by
I like
Sunday though, cause I can't come in people house on a Sunday morning making noise. So I know where I could be on Sunday, but I could be here someplace. And he
Yeah,
gave me
shout
a
out to
glass
Solid
of
Boy.
water, so shout out to Shine for bringing that glass of water mid speech, cause I was quite parched.
Make sure you watch
Brother
your shit,
Jam
son.
Couple. All right. That's it. And we the experts. We can catch y'all later.
Hey,
Catch y'all Sunday for
before
another
we leave,
episode.
the Atlanta Braves just won the World Series. Thanks God, Houston